Last week, we said that week one of the NFL season is the biggest liar of all time. This week, who's lying, who's telling the truth, and maybe a couple of fan bases that it might be time for you guys to panic. I said don't panic last week, might be time now. We're going to talk about all of that and some more fun stuff right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Everyday NFL Fan Podcast. Week one review is, or excuse me, week two review. Week two's in the books. Geez, we're already 2 weeks into the season. I don't even know what's going on anymore. That's how insane things feel these days. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Austin is with me as always. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, y'all? I'm doing good.
It's Wednesday. Tomorrow, we start week 3 tomorrow. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Week 2 is already crazy enough.
Yep.
You ready? Ready to talk about this?
I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Obviously, subscribe down below, like and subscribe if you like what you guys have been seeing for the podcast. But yeah, let's talk about week 2, baby. And we got to kick things off with Thursday Night Football. Not a whole lot I want to touch on really for this game. Austin and I both picked the Chiefs to win this one, and they did, 27-24. A couple points I want to make real quick. You know, Mahomes looked like Mahomes. Herbo looked like Herbo. Shout out Mike Williams. Top tier game for you. Awesome job for you. Chiefs receiving is going to be the key for their season this year, and Mahomes clearly is not missing Tyreek Hill that much. Spraying the ball around beautifully. All the receivers getting plenty of touches. So yeah, Chiefs are definitely the second best team in the AFC right now. I don't think that's disputable. So right behind Buffalo Bills, who we'll talk about later. But yeah, what do you got to say about this one?
Not much else. I mean, you hit it, right in the head. I mean, both quarterbacks look really good. Austin Eckler did a pretty good job. Clyde Edwards-Helaire did a pretty good job. Mike Williams really stepped up big time. Travis Kelce did pretty good. I mean, both teams look really good. I mean, this was really anybody's game. It was back and forth. Just a really good game. We've had a lot of really good games these first couple weeks.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for the rest of the season, but good job on the Chiefs being able to take care of business at home. So
absolutely. Good job on the Chiefs. I can't wait to see. I think we get Chiefs Bills at some point. Do not quote me. Please do not quote me on that. But if we do get them in the regular season, that's going to be awesome. Moving on to Sunday here. All right. Let's start with the first fan base that I think needs to panic a little bit, and that is going to be us Colts fans here. I think it's time for us to panic. Okay. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying panic about Matt Ryan. I'm not saying panic about Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying to really panic about any of those couple guys, okay? What I am saying to panic about is our receiving, okay? Our receiving might be probably the worst receiving core in the league, aside from Michael Pittman, but it's like Michael Pittman being a B-tier wide receiver than a bunch of like D-tier wide receivers. We don't have anything. Yeah. We do not play well at Jacksonville, and we just don't play well at Jacksonville.
8 straight losses.
8 straight losses. 8 straight years we have lost at Jacksonville. So say what you will about that. You know, if that's just our norm, then I'll even be willing to write this game off because, you know, well, that's just, you know, this team has our number. Cool, that's fine. But like, we got shut out against the Jaguars. And I don't think our defense played horribly. Like, our offense just did do nothing. Like, our offense just sat there. Like, Matt Ryan had 3 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor did nothing. This is the second game in a row. Jonathan Taylor has done nothing of warrant, nothing of merit here. And what I will say here about the Jaguars is Trevor Lawrence played a very not Trevor Lawrence-like game. 25 for 32 touchdowns. Like, that is a great game. Like, that is almost a perfect game played by Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. So props to him. Like, you know, Trevor Lawrence is that guy that's usually, you know, like 27 completions on like 55 passes. Like, dude throws the ball all the time and does nothing with it. So props to him for having a really good game. Jaguars lead our division. That should tell you guys something about how bad this division is. That's and awesome. Sleeper to pick up, guys, for fantasy, Christian Kirk, you know, 6 for 78, 2 touchdowns, you know. If you're looking for somebody to get you some fantasy points each week, it's looking like pick up Christian Kirk. But yeah, what about you, sir? What do you got? What do you want to shed the Colts for?
It was, I don't have any words. I mean, the Colts, as I've said, for this will be the 3rd straight week now, and as I said in the preseason, the Colts are not going to win based on offense. It's going to be based on defense. However, when the defense can't stop Jacksonville from putting up 24 points, and then when you include the fact the offense can't do jack squat, I mean, it's sad. I mean, it would not surprise me if we ended with one of the, if not the worst record in the NFL. I mean, we're looking terrible. I'm not going to get too far of ourselves, but a little foreshadow we do when we talk about our game picks. The Colts do have Kansas City at home. Holy cow. That's not what you want to have right after this loss. No. Now, if they somehow come out, and we'll touch more on this later, but if they somehow come out and make a big statement win, I mean, wow.
Yes.
But, I mean, when you start off, when you tie against an okay Texans team.
Yeah.
And you go to Jacksonville, which, yes, we've struggled there as of late. But when you go there and get shut out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put it on Matt Ryan. I mean, he's doing his best. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily put it on him. And he hasn't really been super productive, but I don't think that's totally his fault.
No, and this is how Taylor looked last year. Jonathan Taylor started out really slow last year and then ended the season on a really high note. So
well, the issue is the receiving. We have no receivers. I mean, Pittman's our best one. He didn't even play. He was out.
Got injured, yep.
I mean, I've said it once, I've said it again. They should have put more money into picking up receivers. We should have got Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
We should have tried harder to get, even somebody like Debo. We should have tried to get all these people that either wanted to trade or were in free agency or other things. We should have picked them up. I don't care if we have to raise the price of tickets or whatever we got to do to make up the money.
Yeah.
We need receivers because no one's going to go to these games to watch a 0-15 or 16-1 team. Nobody's going to go watch that.
Exactly. And like you said, the story of the Colts, like we said, is going to be their defense. And their defense has not looked bad. I'll say that. Their defense has not looked bad. It hasn't looked great. But the defense will work its stuff out. It's already looking okay. But even those teams where their defense was their big thing, their offense still got off the bus and played the game. I don't think our offense got off the bus and played the game. Looked like we were playing our third stringers here, okay? This team probably wouldn't have beat Purdue, the team that played Jacksonville on Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. So, Colts fans, including myself, I'm concerned. I'm genuinely concerned. I don't like the direction we're going right now. This is not looking good. And one of the things that we'll talk about later on, a lot of teams have been playing with the mentality of playing not to lose. Teams get a big lead, are rolling, doing their thing, and then just kind of, play not to lose. They sit on cruise control, just doing their thing, hoping the other team doesn't show up to play, and they're just kind of, oh, we're down by a bunch, we lost, it's over. I'm already getting that mentality from the Colts of playing not to lose, and we are 2 games in, and we're playing not to lose against Jacksonville? Why? So that's going to be a story of us, Colts offense. We got to get something rolling. We got to do. Can we please do something? Can we do something?
Hey, you know what? If the Colts end up being worse in the league or one of the worst, we're going to get good draft picks. So at least that could be an upside.
Right. Maybe we can actually get a young quarterback instead of playing one and dones. I got a lot of issues with that.
Too.
Receivers first. Yes. Okay. Next up, I do want to touch on this game for a minute. Rams almost choked this one away. Okay. This is the perfect example of a team playing not to lose. This team, the Rams led 28-3 in this game and almost choked it away. Very ironic coming from the Falcons. They almost choked a game against the Falcons where they led 28-3. That's hilarious. So Rams do not look bad. Rams rebounded well, got a win. Great for them. But guys, keep your foot on the gas. I don't care if it's 28-3. I don't care if you win this game 65-3, make it look like a college game. Keep your foot on the gas and win. I know it's the NFL. I know you want to have fun, make the games close, make the games entertaining, but holy cow, guys, you got to step this up and win. Just go out there and win. That's all I'm saying. The Falcons, props to you guys. The Falcons are, I don't want to quite say this, but the Falcons are a top 5 winless team in the league right now. If you're talking 0-2 teams that have looked good and should have gotten a win, Falcons are absolutely one of them. Falcons have looked really solid. They just can't quite put all the pieces together. So, Cooper Kupp, looking like Cooper Kupp as usual, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Are we surprised? No. Stafford, much better week this week than last week. 2 interceptions though, dude. Stafford, you got to show these interceptions, bro. We cannot keep doing this.
Dude right now is an interception machine.
Absolutely.
He's thrown 2 interceptions every game he's played so far.
which is only 2, but in fairness, but even still, you just won the Super Bowl, dude. Now, yes, what I will say, Stafford was like tied for the most interceptions last year. So this is a norm for him. But even still, like you have played in the league for so long and you still haven't gotten any interceptions under control yet. Like, I get that you have very much mentality of like, screw it, Cup's out there somewhere. But even Cooper Kupp can't be out there everywhere, okay? Let's take our time. You've got Kupp, Higbee, Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson all out there as targets you can throw to. Take your time, run through your progressions, make the throws. And if it's not there, throw the ball away or just run a couple yards yourself. Don't chuck it up and get an interception. For fantasy owners, what I will say for Cam Akers, he did get 15 attempts here. Didn't do a lot, but if you have Cam Akers on your team and you draft him as your RB1, there's some hope there. He's not looking like the backup anymore, but Darrell Henderson's still 10 for 47 and a touchdown. So say that about what you will. I'm going to give the rest of this one to you. Close out on this game. Any other thoughts for you?
Yeah, I mean, not much else. I mean, Atlanta Falcons, they're looking good. I mean,
Yeah.
they kept it close. They made the comeback. I mean, it was a really good game to watch, especially towards the end. Mariota's not looking terrible, not amazing, but could be a lot worse. We've seen
That's
worse.
expected. We didn't
Cordell
expect Mariota to look
Patterson,
amazing.
did really well. Drake London did pretty good. I think, give the Falcons a little bit more time, and they're going to be a force again. I think so. Good game.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't think they're going to be a force this year. I think the Falcons are still lacking in a quarterback. So we'll see come next year if they can retain some people. One other note for fantasy owners, go ahead and drop Kyle Pitts. He's not doing anything. He's not looking good on offense. He's getting no attempts whatsoever. Find another tight end. Okay. Pitts is not the guy right now. Moving forward. Okay. Jets, Browns. All right, guys. The Browns looked normal. The Browns looked like the Browns, all is right with the world. Browns fan, specifically Browns fans. Okay. This is your team. This is your team. You just choked to the Jets. You choked to Joe Flacco and the Jets. You choked to Joe Flacco, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and the Jets. The Jets. I get that you guys don't have a great quarterback, but even then, you had this one in the bag. Nick Chubb, don't take the touchdown. Just kneel down, run out the clock, and win the game. Sure, you went up another score, whatever, left a minute 50 or whatever, but anything can happen. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco here looked like prime Joe Flacco, which is crazy to say. 26 for 44, 307 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson had a stellar game. Garrett Wilson looked awesome here. So I think I might have picked up Garrett Wilson for my fantasy team. And then I did have Nick Chubb, so I'm loving fantasy this week. Nick Chubb did great for me. 3 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, not as great a game the last game, but still getting those touches. Amari Cooper looked fine. Props to the Jets. I didn't think he'd be doing this well. So, yeah, what about you? What do you got?
This game, when I was hearing about the comeback, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. Jets, they really turned it on there towards the end. Joe Flacco looked really good. Breece Hall did pretty good. This Jets team's looking like a little bit of a threat. They got, I don't think they're going to do kind of like Falcons, in my opinion. They're one of those teams that's they're not really that good, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
And I think give a couple more pieces to the Jets, give them a little more time, same as the Falcons, and you're going to see, I think the Jets could begin
Zach
to start.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zach Wilson's the difference maker.
And they'll start winning more games. And I'm excited to see where this team goes, but props to Joe Flacco, really turned it on. Cleveland, y'all got to figure this out. Nick Chubb definitely should have stopped and taken a knee right there to run out the clock and win the game. But good game. It was a really good game. I'm excited to see how both these teams do. Absolutely.
And then I shared this with you off the pod, but Joe Flacco is 3rd in the league in passing yards right now. Joe Flacco is 3rd in the league in passing yards right now. So I don't know. Is Joe Flacco good? Is Joe Flacco still elite? I don't know. We'll figure that out. Way more to come on that. I don't know when Zach Wilson's coming back, but moving on from there. Lions. All right. My Lions looking good. Okay. Now, Now, the Lions. Here's what I'll say about the Lions. I made a point for the Rams that, playing not to lose. And for a minute, it looked like the Lions were playing not to lose. But what I will say is, they started getting close a little bit, but the Lions said, all right, we need to keep going. So they went out there, scored those 2 touchdowns in the second half to keep the lead, and they went out and won this game. Both quarterbacks in this game looked great. Jared Goff looked great, surprisingly. Carson Wentz looked great, surprisingly. Again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I definitely did pick him up for fantasy now. So Amon-Ra St. Brown is looking like a top 5 receiver in the league right now. And he is super versatile, rushing and receiving. He's awesome. And then Wentz has so many targets. This Commanders team is scary to play. I would be scared to play them. Curtis Samuel got a touchdown. Jahan Dotson got a touchdown. Logan Thomas got a touchdown. And Antonio Gibson got a touchdown. 4 different people got touchdowns for them. So that's awesome for them. And then Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds had 1. DeAndre Swift had 1. So Goff doesn't suck. Lions fans, Goff doesn't suck. So props to you guys. Carson Wentz is 2nd in the league in passing yards. So I'm still going to say I think this is the perfect fit for Carson Wentz, and I think he's proving that. So imagine when this Commanders defense gets Chase Young back later in the year. Like, this team is scary to watch, and the Lions are scary to watch. And I don't think I'm too far off in saying the Lions are a contender to win that division. And I think that got proven this week with how some of the other teams played. We'll talk about that later. What about you? What do you got for me?
No, I agree with that. Lions looking like a contender. I mean, the Commanders played great. Wentz, this is definitely the perfect fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
When you and me being close friends, we saw him in Indy. Not awful, but not very good. We were itching for a new quarterback.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I'm glad, I wish that we got a little bit younger guy, maybe someone a little bit better. I know that I was talking about us potentially getting Russell Wilson or Derek Carr or somebody like that, just trying to pick somebody else up, either from a trade or free agency.
Yeah.
But Matt Ryan's all right. But regardless, I mean, both these teams looking good. A lot of weapons, a lot of versatility. If I'm honest, I wouldn't really want to play either one of these teams, at least based on this game.
Yeah.
I mean, both these teams look good. And
yes.
I mean, I think they're both going to do really well this season.
Yes. And the Lions should have won. The Lions kept it closer than anybody thought they would last week. They get their rebound win this week. I watched a little bit of some of the videos from the locker room after that game, and Dan Campbell is just the best coach in the league right now. Dan Campbell is awesome. He has completely changed the culture of that Detroit Lions team, and their mentality is there, and the talent is starting to prove it and match with it. So that's a winning culture. I'm excited to see them. A lot of people were saying, give the Lions a couple more years. I mean, I think in a couple more years, they're on their 2nd Super Bowl. I could even see happening. You never know. We'll see what teams do, but Lions are looking really tough right now. Bucks Saints. I'm not going to touch long on this game. Bucks finally break the curse losing to the Saints, get their win against the Saints. Brady, I saw somebody say it looked like Brady was on his period this game. I mean, I'll totally agree with that. Brady got pissed off a little bit. Team wasn't playing. Mike Evans got suspended for absolutely knocking the crap out of Lattimore. But in the end, Bucks get the win. I don't have much to say about this one.
Nope. The only 2 things I have to say is number 1, Brady throwing his iPad or the tablet. We've seen that many, many times, especially against the Saints.
Classic.
And obviously number 2, like you said, I mean, Mike Evans, I mean, getting suspended, and then Marshawn Lattimore, he seems to be one of those guys that's always in the scuffle. If you've noticed, if you look back, if you watch videos of like NFL fights,
yep.
I mean, anytime that's the Saints, it's usually Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep.
Whether it be with the Bears or the Bucs or other teams, he's always getting into it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Bucks are 2-0, looking like a standout team in the NFC, as we all knew they would be. Brady is still Brady. Slower start for Brady this year. I'll give him that. He's not used to this, but still knows how to make the plays when it matters most. The Giants, 2-0 for the first time in 6 years. You guys are leading the division. Props to you guys for that one. Um,
Absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane. I agree. You played the Titans. You should have, I expected the Titans to win, but they lost that one. Panthers, I'm not too surprised you won, really. Um, I do want to go to box score for this one for just a second. Not a whole lot to write home about for this game. McCaffrey looked a little better. 15 for 102, not awful. Saquon got shut down by the Panthers defense, 21 for 72. So I wouldn't panic if you have Saquon. He had a good week 1, average week 2. He'll be back. He'll be fine. Baker looked not great. Daniel Jones looked average. Mm-hmm. There's literally nothing else to say about this game. It was a boring game that the Giants won.
Yep.
Giants, when you start playing competition, it might get ugly for you guys. I'm just saying. I did see today that Kenny Golladay is a little upset that he's not getting many reps in New York because he said, I came here to play and I'm not getting any reps. What's going on? So that'll be an interesting storyline to watch going forward as well.
Yeah.
Next up, again, Patriots Steelers. Another game that really wasn't much. Patriots defense stifled the Steelers. If Steelers had TJ Watt this game, this might have been a little bit different, but Steelers know not to panic. Patriots fans know not to panic. You guys are fine. Bill Belichick knows how to get his team together and win games. So again, still probably 8-9 win ceiling for the Patriots. Same for the Steelers. I have nothing to say about this game.
Yeah, me neither. That's about it. That covers it right there.
Moving on to the NFL's passing yards leader and the best quarterback performance from the week from definitely not Lamar Jackson. Sorry about that, guys. Tua. Tua is the best quarterback in the league right now. No, I'm kidding. It's Josh Allen. But Tua had the best performance of the week. 469 yards passing, 6 touchdown passes. Nice. The Miami Dolphins come from way behind, 28 points in the fourth quarter to upset the Baltimore Ravens. And guys, the Dolphins are looking scary. You should be scared and terrified of the Dolphins if you want to play them. Same with the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, still a running back, did everything by himself. He rushed for 119 yards and threw for 318. What are you doing? Jeez. Lamar Jackson wants MVP, and he is going to do whatever it takes to get it. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle might be the best wide receiver duo in the league right now. Look at that stat line. Tyreek Hill, so 190 with 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 171 for 2 touchdowns. I also added Jalen Waddle to my fantasy team because he's been popping off. So, dude, the Dolphins, it is Dolphins Bills next week, and that is going to be a sick game. I can feel it. I'm excited for that one, but let's focus on the here and now. Bateman had a good game for the Ravens. Mark Andrews had a good game for the Ravens. This was a barn burner. This was awesome.
I couldn't agree more. Holy cow. Tua, unexpected, just absolutely popped off. Lamar popped off. What else could you say? This was just an amazing game. 28 points for Miami in the fourth quarter. I'd be scared to play either of these teams, which is a little bit shocking to say, especially in previous years. Miami's, for many years has been a team that you're like, oh, it's, you can kind of always pencil an L next to them for the most part.
Yep.
They're here to play.
Absolutely.
Jalen Waddle, he didn't have a super productive week last week, but popped off this week. Tyreek Hill, keeping up with his performance from last week, really good this week. Raheem Mostert did pretty good. Yeah, Miami's looking scary. Lamar, though, rushing for 119 yards on 9 carries. He's had a 79-yard run as his longest. What is that? Is this college? Is this a video game? I'm so confused here. This looked like a video game right
Absolutely. Here. Lamar Jackson has proven he can come back from injury and do Lamar Jackson things. That is what he proved this week, and that is basically just going to continue going forward. I have absolutely no doubt of that. Props to these guys. Dolphins 2-0. You guys are looking awesome. Ravens 1-1. Don't have anything to worry about. You guys are fine. You just got outplayed in the fourth quarter and lost to the better team that week. Seahawks 49ers. sense of normalcy here. Seahawks fans can come back down to earth. Geno Smith is not God himself. Okay, you are not that good. But you'll be fine. You might squeak out 5 wins. 49ers, unfortunate injury for Trey Lance out for the year. But that being said, as a 49ers fan, and this is gonna sound bad, but I would be happy to have Jimmy G in the backfield right now. Okay. Because Trey Lance was not looking great. He was looking really, really off a little bit. Not quite in his comfort zone yet. So, and I think you've got a roster that's very much a win now roster. So to have a veteran back there to maybe take you guys back to the playoffs, back to the championship, back to the Super Bowl even, that should be a good thing. You guys have one of the better bright sides of losing up your quarterback than most teams would.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything else you want to say about that game.
No, you covered it, man.
Sweet. Moving on to the second fan base that should be worried, the Bengals. Okay.
Oh, poor Anthony.
Gosh. Okay. Why does Joe Burrow look awful? Gosh, Joe Burrow looks like he sucks. Like, Cooper Rush might be that guy, pal. That could just be. Cooper Rush is undefeated in the NFL. He is 2-0 in NFL starts. Cowboys, props to you guys for holding the Bengals to do absolutely nothing at all. In this, you guys didn't do much either. Don't get ahead of yourselves. You guys didn't do anything productive either. You won on a field goal. Bengals lose on another field goal. Bengals are 0-2. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, don't worry about the Bengals. They're just fine or whatever. Your quarterback's not looking good. Your defense is not looking good. Your O-line is somehow looking worse than last year when you told us you improved it. Joe Burrow has no time. 6 sacks. He had, 9 last week? He got sacked 9 times last week? This dude is going to retire in a year and look like Andrew Luck out there if you don't protect him, guys. Do something. I like the Bengals. You guys have a lot of great players, but you guys suck right now. Figure it out. Take this one. I'm too mad to talk about this.
I was going to say, yes, Joe Burrow's not looking great, but I don't think you can pin it all on him. A lot of it has to do with the offensive line. He has no time to throw. 6 sacks. I'm surprised he didn't have any interceptions. When you get the ball snapped to you and you have about 0.3 seconds to throw a ball 80 yards down the field to Jamar Chase, it's not going to work out for you.
Right.
I'm impressed he got almost 200 yards out of that and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Props to him for getting at least close.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon looked okay. T. Higgins looked decent. Jamar Chase decent. It was just not a good game. Dallas, played, fairly well, at home. There's not much you can do as a quarterback or even as an offense when your offensive line doesn't protect your quarterback and your quarterback can't make good throws, doesn't have time to make a solid throw. It's hard because for me personally, just because of who is on the Bengals team, if I'm a Bengals fan, I wouldn't be extremely worried yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're fine, but I would be like, hey, don't panic, but
yes,
be aware that, there might be some things going wrong here.
Yeah. And let me correct myself. This is not panic time for the Bengals. This is worry time for the Bengals.
Yeah.
I would be worried with where things are at right now, but there is no need to panic because of the talent you have.
Yeah. And with that, there is lots of season left.
Yeah.
For all we know, we could see Joe Burrow turn into Tua and he could go off for the rest of the year. Will it happen?
Absolutely.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
But we could see it happen. Don't be panicking for anybody if you're a Bengals fan, but
correct.
This is a little bit concerning.
Yes. I don't know who the Bengals have next week. We'll get into that here in a few minutes. But yeah, Bengals, you guys are desperate for a win, and I'm going to need to see it next week, or else I'm going to be real concerned for you guys. Mm-hmm. Texans, Broncos. I'm not going to touch on this one for super long. Broncos
country, let's ride, baby.
Broncos country, you guys still look awful. Okay. I'm going to say that right now. You guys still look atrocious. You guys did not deserve to win this game either. The Texans, Davis Mills just couldn't get it done at the end, and that's because, It's Davis Mills. Davis is okay. He's not good. He's not great. He's okay. Broncos, you guys are not in a position at all to be a contender in this division right now. The Raiders are more in a position to be a contender in this division than you guys, and they don't have a win yet. You guys at least have a win under your belt, so I guess that's something. But you lost to the Seahawks and squeaked by the Texans. Russell Wilson, still the most overhyped mediocre quarterback in NFL history. 14 for 31.
31.
Okay. Davis Mills still had a better game. He still had a better game. He had no touchdown passes. Davis Mills still looked better than Russell Wilson in this game. Russell Wilson might be the most overhyped quarterback of all time. I'm still going to say it now. This is $245 million robbery by Russell Wilson right now. Broncos, you got this guy for 5 years. Hope you're going to have fun with that. Because right now, I wouldn't want to have this guy under center for 5 more years.
Oh, man.
Texans, you should have won. You should have won last week. You should have won this week. Texans should be 2-0 right now, and that's shocking to say. All right. Talk about the definition of a team playing not to lose. Raiders. Guys, what, did you decide you were up 23-0? You could go home? No, you don't go home after the third quarter. There's a whole nother quarter to play. Cardinals scored 16 points. Guys, Kyler is insane. When Kyler is on his game and is playing well, Kyler looks insane. They spent over 20 seconds on that 2-point try to get it. 20 seconds. That's impossible. That doesn't happen. Derek Carr, you looked a lot better this week, so good on you. Devontae Adams had a touchdown but did nothing else of note. 2 receptions for 12 yards, one of those receptions being a touchdown. Receivers, you really guys did nothing. I don't know how the Raiders even led this game looking at the stat line. I think it was turnovers. But, Cardinals win on a fumble. Fumble return for a touchdown. Props to you guys. Raiders, I still like the Raiders. I think the Raiders are probably one of the better 0-2 teams in the league right now, and I think they will rebound. Cardinals with a great comeback win here.
Yeah. I was watching the game, or at least the end of it. Absolutely amazing. Watching Kyler Murray and the Cardinals work, especially when they're going for that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I have no words. I mean, I'm sitting there watching it. He's running and dancing around, and it's like, is this dude even human?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Great job by him. Williams played well. Zach Ertz is pretty good. Marquise Brown pretty good. Props to the Cardinals. Were able to stick it up on defense and get that fumble for the touchdown for the win in overtime. Carr looked good, but the Raiders need to step it up. They need to keep their foot on the gas when they have a big lead like that, and they just need to step up, especially next game. They got to get a win coming up soon. They need to. They
need it bad. What I will say, I've always been a big fan. I've always been a fan of Zach Ertz. It's nice to see him doing well and still popping off at this stage in his career. He is a veteran. He's been around a long time. So props to Zach Ertz for still looking good and still being a really solid veteran tight end for that Cardinals team. Sunday Night Football. All right. Again, normalcy. Bears, you guys suck. You played the Packers and lost, as you always do. Also, okay, I want to touch on this for a second. Justin Fields can't develop if you don't let him do anything. 11 passes. 11 passes. That's it. If he doesn't do anything, he won't get better. I get it. David Montgomery's rushing for all kinds of yards this game. Great. 11 passes. What are we doing? If I'm a Bears fan, I'm like, this is our franchise quarterback, and you're not letting him pass the ball against the Packers? You're facing Aaron Rodgers, and your quarterback's doing nothing? Talk about this. Talk about this for a minute.
I don't know what to say. This is my first time looking at it. I don't even believe it's real. 7 completions on 11 attempts with an interception and 3 sacks. What what do the Bears think they're doing? I mean, yes, David Montgomery is carrying you, literally. But, I mean, your top receiver only had 2 receptions, and it was 39 yards.
Yeah.
I could have gone out there and probably had more completions, and if I was a receiver, had more yards.
Yes.
I guarantee you, Kel, you and me probably could have gone out there. One of us could have been quarterback for the first half, and one of us a receiver, and then we could have flip-flopped at halftime, and I guarantee you we will have better stats than all
we
the
would have still both had better stat lines on both sides. Also, this is just further proof that the Packers have no receivers. Aaron Jones absolutely carried you guys. 132 yards rushing and touchdown, and he was your second leading receiver.
38 yards receiving.
Like, I don't want to see the Packers and the Colts play because there wouldn't be anything interesting. You have no receivers. Like, that would probably be one of the most boring games of all time. You'd be watching Jonathan Taylor versus Aaron Jones than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, the Packers are basically the same as the Colts, just that much better because they have Aaron Rodgers and a little bit more talent across the board. The Packers have a great defense, a good quarterback, a good running back, same as the Colts. Now, I'm not going to equate the Packers and the Colts because the Packers are 10 times better than the Colts right now. But I'm just saying, like, receiving was always the question going into the season for the Packers, and they're not doing anything to reinforce the idea they have good receivers. They're not using them. Aaron Jones looked good.
Yep.
But Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. That's it. Moving on to Monday night games, and ladies and gentlemen, your Super Bowl favorites still looking absolutely amazing. Give Josh Allen the MVP right now. This guy is the absolute best quarterback in the league right now.
Dude is goated.
Like 41-7. I just want to point out, you see like Case Keenum on there. Case Keenum came in at the start of the 4th quarter. Josh Allen did not play the 4th quarter of this game. The Bills are awesome. Okay, the Bills are the absolute best team in the league right now. Look at Diggs, bro. 148 yards receiving 3 touchdowns. Diggs on my fantasy lineup, okay? I am loving fantasy right now, okay? I am thriving.
Diggs popped off.
Diggs popped off.
He's been popping. Hey, after yes, I mean, I'm thinking back to last season. Last season, he played well. He had a good season last season. But I think what he is doing right now is showing, I can go to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Because I had him on my team last year. And there were a couple games when I didn't have him lined up because he wasn't performing super duper well, and the team they were playing, it just didn't fit well.
Yeah.
Diggs is one of the guys this year, you're going to keep him in your lineup.
Yeah.
Because he is, I mean, if he was here last year, he's up to here now. I mean, he is levels above where he was last year, popping off. For anybody that has him on the fantasy, I got to give you props. I give you props, Kev. I got to give anybody else that's watching props that has him on their fantasy team. Yes. Dude's a menace. And anybody that has him, I'd be scared to play them because, I mean, that right there is going to be a big bulk of points. And that's almost a guaranteed win, especially if you're in a league where you got a lot of other good players on your team.
Yep.
Not much else to say. Stephon Diggs is that guy.
Stephon Diggs is that guy. Josh Allen is that guy. This is just proof that years of building chemistry produces results for the best players. Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have had a whole nother year of chemistry to build, and now we're here. And we've still got a bunch of games to go. This Bills team, I don't see them losing anytime soon.
Mm-mm.
So, Bills are going to...
one thing I do have to say.
Yes.
Something that people, I think, should be worried about. Derrick Henry. He has not been looking good. Now, maybe it's kind of like Jonathan Taylor. Maybe he's just off to a slow start. But, yeah. I mean, yes, he's playing a really good Bills defense, so you can't put it just all on him at this moment.
Right.
But, I mean, 13 carries and only 25 yards, and yes, he had a touchdown.
Yeah.
But he was basically snuffed out.
Yeah.
And like I said, granted, yes, the Bills, an amazing team, really good defense. So I'm not just saying, Henry's just awful because he didn't play well. Yes, there's a defensive component to it. Like
Yeah.
even last week, like Derrick Henry did not look super good. Yes, there's a lot of season left, so it's not like people should be panicking. But I think if you have Derrick Henry on fantasy, or if you're a Titans fan, or even just a Derrick Henry fan,
Yeah.
I would be a little bit worried because right now he is not looking very good or very productive. Now we'll have to see how these next several games go as we move more into the season.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I would be a little bit worried if I was a Titans fan. One, for Derrick Henry, but two, just for your team in general. You guys are 0-2. Like,
Yeah.
you guys do not have a terrible team, but you guys got to step up and get a win here soon.
I'm going to give Derrick Henry one more week. I want to see how he looks next week because I am going to attribute a lot of his failure this game to that Bills defense because that Bills defense is just so stifling and so good. But yeah, if Derrick Henry does not have a good performance next week, I would be really concerned. And that may not be necessarily all on Derrick Henry. That may be on like the Titans O-line and stuff like that. But even still, Derrick Henry's not looking great, guys. And he's got to really build up the pace. But neither is Jonathan Taylor. So both guys got to have a big week next week, or else I might be worried about both of them. Eagles, Vikings, I'm not going to touch much on this. Eagles looked great. Kirk Cousins in primetime sucks, as usual. We all knew this. Vikings are fine. I wouldn't be concerned, guys. Just keep playing your Sunday noon, 4 o'clock games. You'll be fine. No. Vikings are fine. They'll be fine. They played the Eagles. The Eagles are a better team than the Vikings. Eagles 2-0, tied for the lead in their division with the Giants.
What were our? Do you remember what our game picks were for that?
We both picked the Vikings.
Oh, we did. Okay.
We both picked the Vikings. So, yeah, we didn't pick this one right. But yeah, I'm okay to be proven wrong on this one because the Eagles look really good. Eagles are still looking really good. So I'm really high on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts looked good, 26 for 31. Was able to control the ball a lot better. Rushed for 2 touchdowns himself. Passed for a touchdown. So yeah, good on him. AJ Brown didn't have a huge game, but one huge game, one lower game. They can't all be big games. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this one?
Not much other than Jay Jettas didn't really do a whole lot. So I mean, credit to Philly for keeping him in check and keeping Cousins in check. But
yep.
Yeah, this was not a good game for the Vikings, they're looking to take, the lead spot in their division. I mean, yes, there's still a lot of football. They can still do it, but this was a big game kind of to step, have an opportunity to prove themselves. And they really didn't, but we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. So.
And what I will say, and I said this earlier, regardless of the fact that the Packers won against the Bears, they played the Bears. The Lions looked like the best team in that division this week. Mm-hmm. So don't sleep on the Lions. I'm going to keep saying that till the day they prove me wrong. So that is it for week 2. All of that is in the books. Before we get into week 3, I got something I want to first I'm going to go over game picks from last week. So I don't know if can you see this on your end?
I cannot. I can only see just your screen there.
Give me just a moment here. Let me make sure that you can see this on your end. I want to quick go over our records and our game picks from last week. So this is where we're at right now. We both had the exact same picks this past week. So we both went 11-4. Props to that.
Hey.
That is awesome. So the only games we got wrong, we picked the Browns to beat the Jets, the Bengals to beat the Cowboys, the Raiders to beat the Cardinals, and the Vikings to beat the Eagles. The only one of those that we really lost was the Raiders and the Browns, because we had those two right going into the end of the game. But yeah, I'm 18-11-1. Austin right behind me, 17-12-1. Hoping we have some different picks this week to make this interesting. So we'll see what comes up when we get to it. But yeah, big week for us. And then, yeah, we'll get into picking week 3 here in just a little bit. But before we do that, I want to do something a little bit different. So we are a couple weeks into the season right now. We know a lot about these teams and a lot about where they're at. I want to go ahead and power rank NFL teams right here, right now. Do a tier list of NFL teams with where they're at right now, where we see them at. It's only 2 weeks. I know it's a little bit early, but I'm thinking I want to do this every couple weeks, kind of reevaluate, where we're at, what we're seeing from these teams, and how they're doing. This is after week 2. Maybe we'll do one after like week 5, week 6, just kind of see where things are at. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get started here. Arizona Cardinals. I'm fine giving the Arizona Cardinals a B tier.
Yeah,
week one they looked okay. They didn't look great because they played the Chiefs. Week two they still didn't look great, but they had that big comeback win. I think they're getting settled in, and they will be just fine.
yeah.
So I'm comfortable putting them in B tier.
I was thinking of putting them potentially in A tier, but I think with a lot of the injuries that they have going for them right now, and just with kind of the way the first few games have gone, I'm fine putting them in B tier for now.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Cardinals in B tier. Falcons in C tier.
Yeah,
I
I'll
don't
put
see
them
them.
C tier.
I don't see them above C tier. I think C tier is more than acceptable for them. I don't have a lot to say about that. I'm going to keep them there. Ravens A tier. Ravens 100% A tier. I know they just lost, but I'd be scared to play the Ravens or anybody in the league right now. I'm
Yeah,
putting
they
Ravens
look
in A
good.
tier.
Put them in A. They look good. I'd say
Yeah.
put them in A.
Yeah.
S tier. Don't even talk about it. Move on.
We're gonna sit there in S tier, and we're just gonna leave them there. Panthers, you guys are D tier. Sorry,
Yep.
you guys are looking awful. Bears, okay, I'm okay giving Bears C tier for right now.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I don't think they'll stay there. I think they're worse than that, but they've got to win. I can't give a team with a win. I can't genuinely give a team with a win D tier. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Bengals, I got to give you guys C tier, man, right now. I don't see you. You are an A tier talent team. You are a C tier results team right now. You guys have not looked good. I cannot, in good faith, give you anything better than this. With just the way you've been performing, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they have a lot of big names. They have a good team, but they're just not producing the results right now. Not playing super well. You know, they need to get back on the horse. I'll give them. I'm fine with C.
Yeah. Browns, I'm sticking them in C tier as well. They got that win week one. They looked good against the Jets. They just choked at the end. Nick Chubb is great. He's performing really well. I'm okay with Browns. I might even put Browns B tier, but we'll start with C tier for now. We can come back and talk about this later. Yeah. But C tier. Cowboys, C tier.
C tier.
C tier Cowboys. Yes, you got to win. Props to you guys. But yeah. All right. This is going to be a controversial take. I want to put the Broncos in D tier. I'm not seeing anything from the Broncos right now that makes me think they're better than C tier. I don't think they're better. I don't think they're C tier. I think they're D tier right now.
Yeah. I mean, there was a close game there for week one. They squeaked out one week two. Russell Wilson's looking okay, but I mean, they're just not really putting the results together. They're not putting the pieces together, especially when you think about all the hype that was surrounding Russell Wilson, surrounding this team. They're not living up to that right now. 1-1, put them in D tier.
All right. Lions. Okay. I'm not going to get too crazy here because I want to put the Lions in A tier so bad.
I'd say put them in B.
But yeah, A tier is not realistic yet. I think B tier is totally fine for the Lions. I will agree with you there. Packers. Okay. This one's also going to be a debate. I think right now the Packers are C tier. I don't think you can quite put them in B tier yet. They lost week one. They won in week two. They won pretty good in week two, but even still, that receiving is going to be a big issue for them. So yeah. I'm okay putting them in C tier for now. I know that will change going forward, but I think C tier is okay right now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Texans also C tier. I don't have to really explain myself there. I think C tier is fine for them. Can I put a lower tier for the Colts? Can I put the Colts in F tier?
Yes.
No. Colts in D tier, we suck right now. We just are bad. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. Jaguars. Okay. Let me do another controversial take here. I want to put the Jaguars in B tier.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm going to put Jaguars in B tier. Reason being, I think they looked good. They didn't look bad week one. They looked average week one against the Commanders. Came out and shut out the Colts. And yeah, you shut out a bad team, whatever. It's still a shutout. In the NFL, that's really hard to do. Jags in B tier is totally cool with me. I think they'll stay there. Our one other S tier team is the Kansas City Chiefs. No one else is S tier. There will be a lot of A tier teams you'll see on this list, but there's no other team that's S tier. Bills and Chiefs. This is your AFC championship right here. And we will see that at the end of the season. But yeah, I don't think anybody can disagree with me on that. Chargers. I'm going to give this one to you to start off. Where do you think the Chargers need to fit here?
Honestly, I was thinking A tier.
I'll agree. I'll give you A
think,
tier.
they played well so far. Played well week 1, played really well in week 2, just couldn't quite finish it out. But they have a bright future ahead of them. I think it's an easy A.
Absolutely. I'll agree with you on that. The other LA team, the LA Rams. As much as it hates me to do this, I got to put Rams B tier. I can't put you guys above B tier right now.
Yep. I'm saying B.
You looked terrible week 1 against you got stifled against the Bills. You almost choked against the Falcons. Get everything shored up a little bit, and you'll be more than okay. I could see Rams making it back to A tier, if not S tier, later in the year. But right now, you're not there. You're just not there yet. Raiders, I'm going to put you guys at the top of C tier. I can't comfortably put the Raiders in B tier yet because they are winless. But even then, the Raiders are that team that could make the big jump from C to A come the next couple weeks. I think they're good enough to do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think they look really, really good. Obviously they haven't won yet, but they got a solid team. I think they have a bright future. They just got to put a couple more pieces together. So,
absolutely. I'm going to put both of our next 2 teams in A tier, the Dolphins and the Vikings. Yep. Dolphins are looking stellar. Vikings, you didn't play well against the Eagles, but you looked great week 1. And I don't see the Vikings as worse than B tier. And I think the Eagles just shut you down. You didn't look bad. Kirk Cousins didn't look good, but we don't expect Kirk Cousins to be a great quarterback. Kirk Cousins is an average quarterback, average to good. So I'm okay with him in A tier. That might be a bit of a hot take, but I'm okay with that.
I agree.
Patriots, C tier. Any disagreement there? Nope. Saints, C tier. Yep. Giants, B tier. I got to put you in B tier because you're undefeated. I don't think you're a B tier team, but you're B tier right now because you're undefeated. Jets, B tier. Yes, S plus tier. No. Another hot take, Jets are B tier. You're 1-1 with a comeback win last week. You can maybe drop them to C tier, but Garrett Wilson looked great. Flacco looked great. I'm putting you guys in B tier. So good job, Jets. You don't suck. Eagles. Eagles are A tier. Eagles are easily A tier. You guys are looking awesome. Not a lot to say about that. Steelers, C tier. As much as I may want to put you guys in B tier, I got to put C tier right now. Seahawks, C tier. You got to win last week. You didn't look great this week, but I don't see you guys at D tier yet. Niners, B tier.
Yeah, I'd say B tier.
B tier? You think B tier is good?
Yeah, I think B tier is good.
Bucks, A tier. Titans, D tier. Yeah. I haven't seen anything from the Titans that makes me think they're anything better than D tier right now. You've got the talent to be a B tier team. Your performance is really, really lacking. And then the Commanders, B tier for the Commanders. Honestly.
Yeah.
You could debate C tier because, yes, they just lost to the Lions, whatever. But you were performing like a B tier team. You won last week. You played well against the Lions. You made it a game. You were down 22-0, but you came back and scored 27 points. Wentz looks good. You're distributing the ball well. Gibson looks good. B tier for Washington. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it, man.
Awesome. All right. There's where things stand after 2 weeks in the NFL. We know who the favorites are. We know who the good teams are. There's a lot of teams, and there's a lot of teams in C tier. So I'm interested to see which of those teams move up and down as the season goes on. Because I think normally we'll end up with more like B tier teams than we will C tier teams as the weeks go on. So this is kind of interesting to me because a lot of teams have started off slow. Yeah. Everybody's kind of looking really mediocre to not great. So that's going to be interesting. I think our biggest surprises here, should be the positioning of the Lions, the Jaguars, the Giants, and the Jets. And then, of course, if you're talking low end, positioning of like the Broncos, the Colts, the Raiders, and the Bengals. Like there's 4 teams that are not looking good and 4 teams that are looking surprisingly good. So this will be really interesting to keep track of going forward. So anything you think you might want to change or adjust with this right now that you might debate a little bit? So I'm open to suggestions.
I don't know. I mean, I think that we have a really good list right now. I think there's, like you said, I mean, a lot of things are surprising, but I mean, I think this is a really, really solid list for the first 2 weeks of NFL football that we watched.
You know, if I were to make maybe one change, I would maybe move the Packers to B tier. But even then, I'm comfortable with them in C tier, maybe top of C tier, like closer to like kind of like a Raiders type team. You're like close to this range, but not. But I think I'm fine with the Packers in C tier for now.
Yeah, I'd keep them in C just because of their receiving core. It's just not where it needs to be. I don't have any faith in it right now. I don't think they have quite what it takes yet to be up a D.
Absolutely, I'll agree. All right, there's our power rankings, where we think people are at heading into week 3. Let's quick knock out our week 3 game picks, and then we'll bounce out of here, and that'll be it for this week's predictions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's hop into week 3, the NFL season, starting off Thursday night football at 8:15. Steelers at the Browns. We love starting off with a coin flip game, don't we? This could go either way. That's my favorite. I'm going Steelers. Bold take, I'm going Steelers here. I mean, Nick Chubb's good. I don't think he's going to be quite enough for them. I'm going to go hot take and pick Steelers here. That's my hot take.
All right. And you know what? Honestly, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with the Browns on this one.
Okay.
I don't think Jacoby Brissett is that guy or anything. But Nick Chubb, he's a good player. He's been playing fairly well. It's at home for them in Cleveland. Mark Cooper's been looking pretty good. I just don't think the Steelers are going to have quite what it takes. I don't know. Is Watt? Is he still out?
He's still out. He'll still be out.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to play a big factor for the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm giving the advantage to the Browns here.
All right. Interesting. Starting off with a disagree. I like it. Chiefs, Colts, Chiefs. Is there any debate here? Really?
No, move on. It's the Chiefs.
Sweet. Chiefs beat the Colts. Next game, Bills, Dolphins. As much as this is going to be a great game, this is a trap game for the Bills. Bills still win.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that one as well. I think that the Dolphins are gonna make it interesting, but I also have a slight feeling that Tua is gonna degrade just a little bit from his last game he had, and I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Absolutely. Jags, Chargers. This ought to be a fun game for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. Justin Herbert is still day-to-day, so I don't know if he's gonna play this week. So, and the issues with not knowing that is I don't know where I want to pick, because if Herbert doesn't play in this game, I would probably pick the Jags to win. Honestly. I don't think the Chargers have enough without him to win. So, this one's so tough. What do you think? I'll let you pick this one first.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if it really comes down to if Herbert is playing or not. I mean, if he's playing, I think it's an easy pick for the Chargers.
Yeah.
But if he's not playing, I got to go Jags. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to give ourselves technically 2 picks for this game each and just say it kind of depends on where Herbert's playing, if Herbert's playing or not, or if you just want to take a stab at it.
So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'll make a note of this. If Justin Herbert plays, we're both picking the Chargers. If he doesn't, we're both picking the Jaguars. That's what we're doing. So, depending on what he does, that will be our game pick for this week. So I will make sure to address that next week. Rams, Cardinals. Rams at the Cardinals. Okay. I'm going to straight out pick the Cardinals here. I love the Rams. I think the Rams are a great team. I think they absolutely can win this game, but they are just still looking too sloppy. And I think the Cardinals, after the performance last week, have more than enough to win this game.
Man, I was kind of hoping that you were going to pick the Rams so I could pick the Cardinals, but yeah, I got to go with the Cardinals on this one. Rams have a great team. I mean, Cooper Kupp, one of the best receivers in the league. I mean, Matt Stafford. I mean, it could be easy to pick them, but with it being an away game, they're playing at the Cardinals Stadium, and I mean, just with how the Cardinals looked last week against a pretty good Raiders team, I just think the Cardinals are gonna really show up. So I gotta give it to them.
Absolutely. Texans and Bears. I don't care. I'm picking Texans.
Um, you know what? Just for the sake of having a disagreement, I'm going to pick the Bears.
Okay, I like
and
it.
I don't give a crap about this game, but
Exactly.
I mean, I'm going to pick the Bills at home. Or sorry, Bears at home. I don't said Bills. My bad. I meant Bears. Bears at home. Um, I just think Dave Montgomery continues to build, but it's kind of whatever at this point.
Exactly. This game, like we said, two teams that desperately need a win to get to play each other with a chance to get it this week. Raiders at Titans. So I am picking a tie in this. No, I'm kidding. I'm not picking. I'm picking the Raiders to win. I'm sticking on the Raiders train for now. I still think the Raiders are the better team here. The Titans have proven absolutely nothing to me. I think the Raiders look at what they did last week in choking that game and come out strong and beat the Titans at home.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. That was my same pick.
Sweet. Next up. After that, we got the Lions and the Vikings. Okay. This game, so I'm going to pick the Vikings to win this game because it comes down to home field advantage for me. I think these teams are like evenly matched right now, but I'm picking the Vikings to win because it's at home. That's the only reason.
Yep, I'm the same way. That's the first thing I looked at was where is it being played at?
Bingo.
And I saw it was in Minneapolis, so I got to give the advantage to the Vikings.
Awesome. Ravens, Patriots. It's at New England, but the Ravens are too much.
Yep.
All right. Next game, I don't know if you saw it already, but if you didn't, Bengals, Jets. I'm going to let you pick this one first.
Dear Lord, it's so hard because I mean the Bengals just lost to a Cowboys team with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys they're a decent team.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's the Jets. Now Joe Flacco just had an amazing game last game in the comeback, but you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now, just because the Bengals haven't proved anything. I'm picking the Jets.
So am I.
I'm making a bold pick. You're joining me.
Yes, I am. I was going to pick the Jets too going into this game. So yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. I am picking the Jets to win this one as well, and yet another upset. So that'll be really fun to watch.
That sounds weird coming out of my mouth saying the Jets are going to win.
Then they're going to beat the Bengals, of all people. That is weird. Okay. Eagles, Commanders. Every part of me wants to pick the Commanders to win this game, but I just can't logically. I think this will be a trap game for the Eagles, but I still think they pull it out.
Yeah, I was going to say Eagles right away. I think Commanders will play well and they'll keep it pretty close, but I think the Eagles are going to be just a little bit too much.
I agree. Saints, Panthers. Flip a coin here. Panthers are trash. I'm going with the Saints.
Yep, same.
Sweet. Please pardon me while I update the graph showing what we picked. Falcons, Seahawks. I think the Falcons finally pull off their win here. I think they've been right there. And as much as the Seahawks are good at home, are one of the tougher teams to play in Seattle, I think the Falcons squeak out a win here.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. And look at the line; it literally says even.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Falcons here on this one. I think that they're starting to put the pieces together. It just hasn't been quite enough yet. I think this is the game when it finally clicks for them, and I think they win.
Absolutely. Packers, Bucks. This will be a fun game. Um, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, it's tough because I mean this could go really either way. But I think the Bucks are going to take it. I think after we saw angry Tom Brady throwing his tablet,
Yep.
I think he's going to show up strong. It's at home for them. The Packers, I would have been a little more inclined to pick them, but I picked the Bucks for two reasons, or I guess three. One was Brady with the tablet.
Yep.
Another one is that the Packers do not have a solid wide receiver core.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to be able to do as much damage um, against the Bucks as they did against the Bears, and
Yeah.
that leads me to talk about the third point I'm picking them. It's their defense. The Bucks have a solid defense, and I mean, and offense as well. I think that the Bucks take it.
Absolutely. I'm going to go right there with you. I'm going to agree with you. I think the Bucks just have too many more pieces in order than the Packers do. So I'm picking the Bucks at home to win. Sunday Night Football. San Francisco 49ers at the Broncos. I'm going to take a lead on this one before giving you a lead on Monday Night Football. Broncos have not proven anything to me, and I think that continues. I think the 49ers with Jimmy G are too much. I think 49ers win.
Yep, I'm the same way. I wanted to pick the Broncos, especially being at home and a night game.
Yeah.
But they need to prove to me first that they're worthy of me picking them. And when with Jimmy G now, I think the 49ers are gonna come out strong. So
100% agree with you. And then Monday Night Football. Who would have thought this would be a toss-up game? Cowboys at the Giants. Go ahead, buddy. You finish this off strong, and I'll come in with my pick. What are you thinking?
all right. Well, I mean the Giants do have home field advantage.
They're favored by one, surprisingly.
Yeah, and they have been playing well.
Yes.
But I mean, who remember who did the Giants even play week one?
Titans. One in Tennessee.
There's a Titans.
Yep.
That's right. So they won in Tennessee, and then they won last week against an awful Panthers team. That was an absolute joke.
Yep.
You know what? I think it kills me to say this, but I'm gonna have to pick the Cowboys. I think that.
Ooh.
I think they're gonna pull. I think that Daniel Jones is just not gonna have a good game. It hurts me to say it. It really does.
Yeah.
But I got to go with the Cowboys. I think that I completely been blanking on what the quarterback's name is right now.
Cooper Rush, maybe.
Cooper Rush. Thank you. I think he's gonna have another good game. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a pretty close game.
Yeah.
I can even see it being one of those kind of not necessarily a trap game, but one of those games where it's like, maybe it's into the third or fourth quarter and the Giants are up, by maybe a touchdown or, maybe even two or who knows what. And then, and they take their foot off the gas and the Cowboys come back.
Yeah.
I'm giving the Cowboys benefit of the doubt right now.
Okay. I like it. I want to pick the Cowboys for all the reasons you just said, because I 100% agree with you on every stance. But what I'm going to say is this is the Cowboys' first away game. And I don't remember. Here's what I'm going to say. This is the Cowboys' first away game this season. They're at a rival, the Giants. And I think this game, you're going to see that Cooper Rush is Cooper Rush. Okay? He is a backup quarterback for a reason. I think the bright lights of Monday Night Football and being on the road, I think this is Cooper Rush's first loss. I think this is going to be one of those games that's just ugly all around, and the Giants come out of an absolute dumpster fire of a game with a win. So I think it'll be close, absolutely. But I think this is going to end up in the same vein as like the Panthers and the Giants last week. Trash game. Nobody played well. Nobody really cared, and the Giants came out on top. I think that's going to happen here. I think the Giants come out on top in this one, just barely beating the Cowboys. And that's not because I don't want to pick the Cowboys. I would pick the Cowboys. I'm just going to, again, flip a coin. Giants win. Giants win a slugfest that's also a slog. I don't know how that's going to work, but only those two teams could do that. Only those two teams could actually be that bad. So We got a couple differences this week. I picked Pittsburgh over the Browns. You picked the opposite. I picked Houston over the Bears. You picked the Bears. And then I picked the Giants and you picked the Cowboys. So we'll see how things shake out this week. See if I can keep a lead going into week 4 or if you come out with a lead after this week. But yeah, that's going to be it for the podcast this week, guys. Who's excited for week 3 of NFL football? It is coming in hot and fast tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to see we got the first game of the week and our different picks, like we said. So get your fantasy lineup set. If you got any of those players in there, make sure to keep them in there or take them out if you want to. But yeah, as always, you know where to find this podcast every week right here on CH Gaming. Like and subscribe down below as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. Austin, as always, thanks again for being here.
Yep, of course, man.
Little tidbit for you guys going forward that are watching. I'm working on getting some guests lined up to come on the podcast. Seeing who we can get. I'm in talks with Peyton Manning right now to go on the show with. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. But I'm looking to get some guests on here to join us to talk about the NFL because everybody loves the NFL. The NFL is awesome. The NFL is back, baby, and better than ever. So stay tuned for that because that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks for tuning in as always, guys. We will see you right here next week and see how much the NFL has burned down after week 3. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
Take care and peace, y'all.